in you, you're in me. We're two branches on just one tree. Look around, all you see is part of you and part of me. We're two branches on just one tree. We're two branches on just one tree. Woo.
Hello and welcome to Unity of Walnut Creek. That was our little warm-up, and now we're ready to start our service. So today we have a wonderful special guest, Jamie Lula. Yes, who is here for our Sunday services and also coming back tonight for a concert. We invite you to join us for that. And then we have our next congregational. Jamie's going to lead us in. We are the ones we've been waiting for. So please rise as you're willing and able and join us in singing.
It goes like this. We are the ones we've been waiting for. We are the love that we seek. We are the seeds we are sowing. We are the harvest tree to reap. Come on, y'all. We are the ones we've been waiting for. We are the love that we seek. We are the seeds we are sowing. We are the harvest we reap. I am. Oh, I am. That I am. Oh, I am. That I am. We are the ones. We are the ones we've been waiting for. We are the love that we seek. We are the seeds we are sowing. We are the harvest we reap. I am. Oh, I am. That I am. Oh, I am. That I am. One more time. Oh, I am. That I am. Oh, I am. That I am. We are the ones we've been waiting for. We are the love that we seek. We are the seeds we are sowing. We are the harvest we reap. Come on. We are the ones we've been waiting for. We are the love that we seek. We are the seeds we are sowing. We are the harvest we reap. We are the harvest. We are the harvest we reap. We are the harvest. We are the harvest we reap.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, Jamie, for being with us. Appreciate it. Good morning. Good morning. My name is Ron, and it is my pleasure to be here because I get to look at all of you who are the individual expression of God. And let me tell you, God's never looked better. So, if you please help us welcome our folks online. So, if you turn around and say good morning, thank you. Good morning. Thank you for being here with us. Please know that you already are a part of our Unity community. So, thank you, thank you, thank you. And as we mentioned before, we have a special guest musician, Jamie Lula, and he's really, really good. I heard him at the 9:30, and Reverend Michael Beckwith says about Jamie, more than a shiver-inducing experience and sound, it is an inspiration in itself as an offering just to you. And I just want to say that Reverend Michael Beckwith is not exaggerating. So we are blessed to have you here. He is also leading his voice and leadership in concert to youth groups and spiritual centers throughout the nation. Jamie has been honored by the LA Music Awards, winner of the Centers of Spiritual Living Youth Championship Awards, and many other musical and mission-based honors. He's got over 6 albums, CDs, MP3s, to his name, available on a patio. So he'll be on a patio after the service. Also, he will be part of tonight's concert this evening. So please join me in welcoming Jamie Lula to our center. Thank you, sir. So as many of you already know, that unity is a positive path for spiritual living. And our mission here at Unity of Walnut Creek is this. In loving community, we empower spiritual growth by modeling and teaching universal truth principles. So I invite you to get into that feeling of gratitude, that attitude of gratitude, and then we'll move into our statement of faith. So we're going to take a deep breath, and as we exhale, we're going to say thank you, and then move into our statement. So just take a deep breath, settle in, let it out and say thank you. And let's say our statement. There is only one presence and one power in the universe and in my life, the all-loving goodness of God. And here at Unity of Walnut Creek, we love to welcome newcomers. So if there are newcomers here, welcome. You add to our spiritual experience here. We have a welcome packet for you, and with a special necklace inside, handmade by one of our Unity students here, and students can be any age, by the way. So, and if you feel comfortable enough as a newcomer and want one of these packets, please raise your hand, and somebody will come by and you can receive this gift from us. Great. Thank you for being brave. We appreciate it. And if there are other people who are here for the first time but don't feel comfortable raising their hands, please go to the welcome table afterwards and you can grab a packet in anonymity. So thank you. And for the old-timers, we have connection cards in the back of the seats in front of you. And with these connection cards, you can write down a prayer request so we can celebrate, or we can pray with anything that's on your heart. Okay? I did that part already. Oh, I'm talking to me. Was I talking out loud again? I'm sorry. So with these connection cards, not only do we pray for them today, but they're prayed over all week. Okay. And so now is our favorite part of service, which is huggy time. So please greet your neighbor until the gong. Thank you. Thank you. So just to let you know, hi. So the microphone is really important because
for this. Oh, yeah. Gong.
Oh, it already happened?
There was your second one, Javier.
Good morning. My name's Javier Cortez, and it's my honor to tell you some of the exciting opportunities happening here at Unity Center, Walnut Creek. Please join your Unity community and Jamie Lula today at 5 p.m. this evening for a bring your own picnic on the lawn. followed by a fabulous concert at 6:30. This is the start of our fun summer concert series. The cast, crew, and musicians of Connections are selling DVDs. This is a great way for you to support the prosperity of our church, our future of creating projects at Unity. Please make your purchase in the bookstore after the service. Our spiritual learning classes begin on July 10th. We have 3 great classes with 3 powerful instructors this summer. So first one, are you ready to take your health into your own hands and feel happier, healthier, and more alive in just minutes a day? Okay, one more time. Are you ready to take your health into your own hands and feel happier, healthier, and more alive in just a few minutes a day? Then Trey Boxer will teach you self-care with Touch for Health and acupuncture on Monday evenings. On Tuesdays, move beyond working your stuff out and learn to cut through it with Pamela Assen. She will show you how to live in balance through cut-through using heart math techniques, and all experiences are welcome. In our third class, are you ready to shore up your foundation of faith? Yes. Are you ready to release your limited thinking? Yes. Free yourself through forgiveness and enhance your generosity? Yes. All right. So on Thursdays, expand your prosperity and catch a new vision for your life with our own Reverend Kristen Powell and the 4 Pillars of Prosperity. You can find pre-registration forms for the class found on the table in the back, and they look like this. So, I would like to invite Pegleg, otherwise known as Faith, up to the microphone.
Welcome to Unity. The Amakua Heart Center would like to invite you to the Bless Fest.
Thank you, Luna. So the Bless Fest is held by the Amakua Heart Center, and we have gatherings every second Friday of the month. So Bless Fest is an all-day workshop and concert, and it will have a bunch of classes ranging from Kundalini to crystal healing, tea and tarot, and Tai Chi. And there's all sorts of music like light rock and smooth jazz, and it'll be playing all day, so continuous. It's great. And we'll be providing a full vegan dinner and an open kombucha bar, and general admission is $20. So hope to see you there. When? It's here. When? Oh, when? It's July 8th from 11:30 a.m. to 9 p.m. So, yeah.
We really hope you can make it because it's a super duper fun celebration.
So find out about more of these other activities online and in today's bulletin. So I would like to invite Reverend Kristen to the platform.
And I would like to invite Ron Salazar to join me. And we would like to invite some new members forward. We're actually inducting 12 new members to Unity today. We had some in the first service and some in this service and a couple that couldn't come, and they'll catch us next time.
Yes.
So we invite forward our new members, Robert Dale Shara, Stephen Selzer, Scott Selzer Smith, Charles Nettles, and Barbara Boxer. Barbara Brown. Politics, anyone? Are you going to run again? That's what I'm just kidding. So we've spent some really wonderful time with these folks over the last 3 weeks, Ron and I, in tandem, and just really diving deep into our principles and our history, as deep as you can go in 3 classes. but it's been a delight to get to know them. And so we're thrilled that you're stepping into this community and committing to be a bigger part of who we are, to make this spiritual commitment to the Unity community and your own personal commitment to your spiritual growth and expressing the love of God more radiantly, even, if you can imagine. We express our community core values here to the fullest of our ability, and they are love, authenticity, transformation, joy, peace, and connection. And so that's what you're stepping into at a new level. Sound good? All right. In this process of awakening here at Unity of Walnut Creek, we dedicate the talents that we have, the gifts that we have to give, the hearts and the hands that we have to offer to Spirit and to this community. And so we give thanks that you have said yes to a greater commitment to our community.
We believe wholeness is our natural state of being. Oneness is our relationship to everything living, and the earth is a prosperous place. And lacking nothing in truth. Everything we do at Unity of Walnut Creek is based on our deepest beliefs and and values. While we have a set of foundational teachings and principles, Unity has no prescribed doctrine other than a commitment to seek the truth and follow the greatest commandment Jesus gave us. You shall love God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your mind, and with all your strength. The second is like unto it. You shall love your neighbor as yourself. There is no other commitment greater than these.
So in Unity, we have both the offering of a water baptism and a spiritual baptism. So the water baptism is optional, and all the folks up here have opted for it. There's some blessed water from a very sacred place in Bali that we're using, where people come from all over the world to pray. And this is our release. So the water baptism is the releasing, and the spiritual baptism is the affirming. And so I invite these folks to release any beliefs that may stand in the way of their good as they express more fully. And for our spiritual baptism, I invite our new members to speak with me our affirmation of commitment. Together, I affirm my oneness with my Creator and my awareness of the divine Spirit within me. I will always look to Spirit as my source. I affirm my dedication to the spiritual principles of truth and my willingness to seek, learn, and express them. I affirm my belief in the power of prayer by seeking daily quiet times and remembering others in my prayers. I affirm my commitment to honor my body, soul, and our earth by living in wholeness and unity with all life. I affirm my intent to live the spiritual commandment, love one another as I have loved you. I affirm my commitment to be a productive member in service to this spiritual community and the world as guided by the Holy Spirit. I affirm my willingness to fulfill the divine purpose for my life. Wow, you're committing to a lot, aren't you? And for the congregation, we ask that you also affirm our new members and make your own commitment. And so I offer you this, and if you are willing, please say I am at the end. Are you now affirming your dedication to support these new members in their spiritual growth, to welcome them into this family, and to behold the divine in them? If so, please say, I am. I am. And so we would like to gift you with some Unity classic literature, a book by Eric Butterworth, and a certificate of membership. And finally, we invite you to sit back and allow us to bless you in song, to truly receive our blessing. And we say to you with this song, welcome home.
So everyone, here's a new song, and as you learn it, sing along. I behold divine in you, and I'm warmed by the flame in your heart. Oh, today you are my family, and I'm grateful for all that you are. I behold divine in you, and I'm warmed by the flame in your heart. Oh, today you are my family, and I'm grateful for all that you are. Love binds us all. Love binds us all. Love binds us all. Love binds us all. I behold divine in you, and I'm warmed by the flame in your heart. Today you are my family, and I'm thankful for all that you are. Keep shining your light. Keep shining your light. Ooh, keep shining your light. One more time. Keep shining your light.
Thank you. Welcome, welcome. You can join the congregation now.
Congratulations, newcomers, new members. What a gift. What a gift. Give it up for the new members once again. As Javier said, I'm a member of Agape down in Culver City, Michael Beckwith's church. For those of you that know Michael Beckwith, or Ricky Byers. And I'm just so grateful to be up here. I actually wrote this song with my songwriting partner, Gary Len Floyd, for one of the founding members of Agape, Reverend Nirvana Reginald Gale. We wrote it the day of his memorial in August. And my wife ran out of the bathroom with her blow dryer in one hand and her brush in the other, and was like, "You have to sing that today. That's Nirvana. That is Nirvana. This is for my brother Nirvana Gale, and for all of you. It's called In the Name of Love. Decorate this place as it is below, so it is above. May we always stand in the name of love. When the veil is gone, there's only one of us, only one, in the name of love. When the day is done, we will sing this song all as one, in the name of love. In the name of love, may we always be seeking out the best till we all are free, living in a world we've been dreaming of, where we stand as one in the name of love. When the veil is gone, there's only one of us, only one, in the name of love. When the day is done, we will sing this song all as one, in the name of love. 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 When the veil is gone, there's only one of us, only one, in the name of love. When the day is done, we will sing this song all as one, in the name of love. When the veil is gone, there's only one of us, only one, in the name of love. When the day is done, we will sing this song all as one, in the name of love. Come on, y'all. In the name of love. In the name of love. Oh yeah. In the name of love. In the name of love. Yeah, 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 yeah. In the name of love. 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 Last time. In the name of love.
What a musical treat today, huh? All of you. Yeah, and thank you so much for being with us, Jamie. By the way, Lisa Snorden Phelps wrote that song for our new members. I don't know if you noticed that on the screen, so we thank you, Lisa, for your creativity. Bobby Bader is our prayer chaplain today, sharing with us a reading as we begin with our meditation time. So we invite you to get comfortable and ready for meditation.
Good morning. Our community prayer today is on belonging. And before I read the prayer, I would like to honor and acknowledge our gay community who's been celebrating Gay Pride this week. We'd like to acknowledge everyone in the LGBT community. Thank you. I'd like to dedicate this to Bobby Boy, my cousin Bobby, who's 6 weeks younger than I, who we lost to AIDS in '88. As we take a moment to settle into the space of prayer, we recognize we are not alone. No one is left out in the house of spirit. Everyone belongs to this loving presence and to each other. I am welcomed, embraced, loved, endured, adored, in fact. When I long to belong, I rest in my belonging. I breathe into that desire until I return home to the realization that I already belong. I belong to this family and the greater human one. I belong to the kingdom of living beings, my earth home and the divine. In the adapted words of Rumi in my first love story, the minute I first heard of spiritual community, I started looking for you, not knowing how blind that was. Family doesn't finally meet somewhere. They're in each other all along. And so we are, and so it is. Amen.
Something's calling me. Something's calling me. Something's calling me a little bit deeper than I've ever been before. Feels like I'm walking on marbles. Can't still the earth beneath my feet. Is my head in the clouds, my naked legs left dangling. I can feel my heart begin to pound. Something's calling me a little bit deeper than I've ever been before. Something's calling me a little bit deeper than I've ever been before. A long dark night, my soul it wanders. Can't see the light that moves me. If God is everything and everywhere that I belong, Spirit gently wakes me from my sleep. Something's calling me a little bit deeper than I've ever been before. Something's calling me a little bit deeper than I've ever been before.
Out of this silence, through these healing tones, we feel Spirit, we hear Spirit calling us to step in, to step up, to know that we belong.
Oh Lord, oh Lord, take me deeper than I've ever been before. Oh Lord, oh Lord, pull me deeper than I've ever been inside these blues. Oh Lord, oh Lord, I surrender my life to you. Love is calling me a little bit deeper than I've ever been before. Faith is calling me a little bit deeper than I've ever been before. Peace is calling me a little bit deeper than I've ever been before. God is calling me, and I'm grateful like I've never been Thank you for calling me.
And so it is. Amen.
In my eyes, All the angels sing. Check it out. You're perfect, golden light, my love. Come on, y'all. You're perfect, golden light, my love. Sing it to your neighbor. You're perfect, golden light, my love. Let's sing it to our new members. You're perfect, golden light, my love. Turn and sing it to someone that you don't like. You're perfect. Just kidding. Golden light, my love. Put your hand on your heart. You're perfect, golden light, my love. Sing it to yourself again. You're perfect, golden light, my love. And one more time. You're perfect, golden light, my love.
I think we got it now, huh? See, if we say it enough times and we sing it enough times, gets in there, doesn't it? I'm not going to do gymnastics or anything, but I like a little space. Like, what's going on next? So, you know, Jamie hails from Los Angeles, so I want to tell you about a special person from Los Angeles and some special people that he serves. His name is Father Gregory Boyle, and he started something called Homeboy Industries. Anybody heard of that? Los Angeles? Yeah. Oh, good. A lot of you have. So Homeboy Industries is support and training and hope that is provided to former gang members. And Father Boyle very affectionately refers to them as homies, homegirls and homeboys. And they do all kinds of things. They have a homegirl cafe, and they have they make chips and salsa, and they have a bakery, and they have embroidered products and recycling program. And he's created all this because as he started working with the gangs at the parish that he was in, that he was serving, there was a lot of gang activity around him, so he began serving these gang members and realizing that, he said, about 80% of what they really need is just a job. And then 20% is the love and the support and the compassion, and so he's got the right formula down. And so now people all over the world are replicating what he's created because they realize what they were trying to do before just didn't work. He told a story of when he went on Dr. Phil. And by the way, I got to meet him at the Unity Convention, which is where I was last week, and a lot of other people that were really fabulous. It was a really fabulous convention. Before I launch into the Dr. Phil story, I do want to share with you some other people I saw at the conference that you might recognize, actually. Aha, right? So an instant sense of belonging when we connect with people that we have commonalities with, right? So there is Reverend David MacArthur, who you probably know, who served this ministry for 14 years just prior to this. And previously Max Lafsner, who was here for some time. Yeah, some of you don't recognize Max anymore, but there he is in all his glory. So it was really sweet to connect with them. So today we're talking about belonging, and there's sometimes a natural sense of belonging when we share with each other these commonalities, these roles, and these communities that we share. So I certainly feel that with David and Max, and it was sweet to connect with them. And getting back to Father Boyle and some of the stories that he told, he talked about being on Dr. Phil with some of the homies. And he said, you know, Dr. Phil had spent a lot of money on this set, and he had a coffin there on one side and a jail cell on the other. You know Dr. Phil. And he's telling the guys, you know, you've got two choices. And Father Boyle said he finally just had to say, you know what, Dr. Phil, they got that. They know they got choices that aren't so, attractive. But that's not where it's at. Where it's at is in our kinship, in our belonging. He talks about going to the margins of society so that we can erase them. Understanding, as Mother Teresa said, that what we have forgotten is that we belong to each other. There is no difference, This game that the ego plays of exalting ourselves and then therefore diminishing another, or diminishing ourselves so that others may feel exalted, it's a game. It's a lot of wasted energy. It's not the truth. There was a Zen master who was going to the temple where he served some of his folks, and as he was preparing to go back at the temple, there was a lot of busy work going on. They were scrubbing the walls and the floor and planting flowers and preparing for the great arrival of the master. The trouble for them was he arrived a day early. And so they were really busy and not ready. And he rolled up his sleeves and he started to scrub the walls with them and scrub the floors. And they said, "Oh, Master, what are you doing?" He said, "I'm preparing for the grand day of my arrival." Because the truth is that we are all worthy of that exaltation, right? That's what Father Boyle instinctively understands about these kids. That they've just haven't been given a good head start. And they're just looking for a job, it turns out. It's pretty simple stuff, right? We make it so complicated. He talks about how we have demonized gang members. And of course, we have done that with a lot of members of our society in various ways over the many thousands of years we've been in existence. And I'm reading, actually happened to be at the same time reading another book called Feminine Genius by Leanna Silver. Highly recommend it, actually. It's really good. Anyway, she talks about the word demon actually came from the word daemon, which means inner knowing. And at the time that early Christianity was trying to push out pagan ideals, they made inner knowing, daemon, demon, the idea of the evil within. Oh, how wrong we've gotten it, But the truth comes to light. And then we get enlightened. And then we recognize the truth is that the inner knowing that we have been somehow cut off from is exactly the compass we need to know that we belong. The inner knowing is what allows us to know that we belong to Spirit, that we are one with Spirit, that we belong to each other, that we are one with this human family, that we belong to this earth home, that this is our planet, our precious planet, our one and only that we live upon anyway. And that we belong to all of life on it. When we remember that there isn't this otherness, there is a coming home. David White, the poet, said, if I can find his words, I can quote him exactly. Somewhere in here, I will find it. The moment you've uttered the exact dimensionality of your exile, you've already turned toward home. When you utter how you've exiled maybe another, or how you've exiled yourself, because we exile ourselves too, you know. We cast out not only members of our society in our minds through judgments, but we also cast out parts of ourselves, don't we? We cast out certain feelings that it's not okay to feel, it's not acceptable, that people don't want to be around our anger or our sadness. And so we keep it hidden, or we numb it out, or we divorce ourselves from it and cast it out. We try to anyway. It's not really possible. It's still there. It's just suppressed, right? So when I looked at this for myself to say, well, so what is the dimensionality of my own exile? What are some things that I have exiled within myself? And I came from the kind of family where it was perfectly fine to express your happiness, but in some unspoken way, I got the message really clear that it wasn't okay to express your sadness and your anger. So those things became exiled in a way. It wouldn't be I wouldn't get the love and acceptance that I needed if those things were expressed. So they were put aside. Anybody relate to this? I know you do. I know this isn't an uncommon story. But looking at that exiling and the full dimensionality of it, I can look at it and say, wow, there's some serious ramifications that I can point to. There are illnesses in the family that I can see at the root of this casting out of these emotions. And there is that sense of hidden joy, because when we hide our pain, guess what? We hide our joy too, because it's the fullness and the allness of who we are. It all belongs to us. Leanna Silver, the woman who I mentioned, the author of this book, tells a story of she's driving along and her 3-year-old son is in the back seat. And she says, isn't it great when we're in a good mood together? And he says, he's real thoughtful for a moment. She can see him in the rearview mirror. And then he says, I love all the feelings. And she thinks, wow, how did my son zoom light years ahead of me on this one, you know? And so she was thinking about it. How has she raised her son? She said there's times when he's had temper tantrums and she has done what a lot of us will do, try to tamp it down or hide it or push it away or ignore it or even laugh. I mean, I've been guilty of that with kids, like just with other adults, just kind of laughing because it just seems so outlandish to be that upset that your lollipop is, you know, whatever, got a piece of sand on it, you know, whatever has happened, you know, whatever tragedy has happened. But, you know, that is a tragedy for a 3-year-old. And it's think about how pristine this is. It might be the first time they have ever felt anger or sadness. What a strange thing it would be to feel all that energy going through you for the first time. And so she remembers this one time when her son was really upset, and she decided instead of pushing away or tamping down or ignoring or laughing or all those other reactions, that she would walk right into the storm with him. And she said she took him up in her arms and she named the feelings he might be feeling because she saw what happened. She said, when your toy was taken away, did you feel angry and sad? And he kind of pulled away and looked at her and nodded. And she said, where do you feel your feelings? And he pointed to his belly immediately. And then she said, it's a lot of energy, isn't it? And he nodded his head. And she said, do you want me to dry your tears? And he said, no, I want to cry some more. And so he cried some more. And when he was all done, she said, okay, why don't you go tell your friend now, you know, ask your friend to not take your toy when you're still playing with it. And so he went over and told his truth to his little friend, and she said she would not take his toy away when he was still playing with it. a great lesson for how we, how to interact with one another, learn from 3-year-olds at the toy box. It's how not to disown these parts of ourselves, though. This emotionality, intuitive nature that we have, it's that compass that we need. And so we want to clarify and own and bring into belonging all these pieces of ourselves and each other that we have somehow decided are disposable or discardable. And they're not without consequence. It all belongs to us. So look, I encourage you to look for yourself in the places where your exile is, what you've exiled from yourself or who you have exiled from your life. Look at the full dimensionality of it. Really take in the ramifications of it, in other words. And then decide, do you really want to keep that in exile? Because if your answer is no, or even if your answer is yes, but it's an honest turning toward home. It's a allowing, it's a belonging, it's a wholeness. And that turning toward home is turning back to your heart. So when I looked at this in my own family, I began to get a clarity about these ramifications and then welcome one by one these exiles that I had exiled from my own being. So we see it on the collective level and we see it in the microcosm of each of us. Also at the conference was Sharif Abdullah, who's introducing a program that I hope our church will pilot called Shadow to Light. In this work, he's teaching us not so much working with the individual shadow, but the collective shadow and how it affects us individually. He names the 4 collective shadows in our society as violence, lack, despair, and other. And so today, obviously, we're focusing a bit on other. But as we come together as a whole, it sort of allows us both to go out to the margins and welcome in those who we have let out, and go out to the margins of our own energetic being and welcome in that which we have discarded. Because it all belongs. All of it. All of us. Father Boyle talks about, the homies sometimes get their words confused or sayings confused that we use conventionally. And he said one day a homegirl comes into his office and they call him G. And he said she's seems like real proud as she comes in, and there's another young person behind her, and she says, "Hey, G, I want to introduce you to somebody really important to me. This is my sufficient other." I love that because I actually am starting to use it. Hope Renly doesn't mind. And I like it because to me it says, we're enough. There doesn't have to be this constant striving, right? To perfection of whatever that is. Hollywood kind of idea of who we are in relationships. But instead, it's like, I'm enough, you're enough, we're enough. Let's celebrate that with that kind of confidence that homegirl had when she walked into the office, and pride to say, this is my sufficient other. Isn't he or she enough? Aren't I enough? Aren't we enough? Yes, the answer is yes to every one of those questions. And that's part of knowing how we belong to this human family. We are divine and we are perfect in that divinity. Absolutely perfect. Our perfection, our golden perfection. And our perfection is really wholeness. Our perfection is our humanity as well. It all belongs. We all belong. So, sometimes it is through inner work that we find our tribes and the tribes that don't otherize, right? That feel like the place where we belong in a larger family of life. And sometimes it comes just to us by grace, or we get a little sign. I'll call it a belonging bonus. I got one of those when I came to this community a few weeks in. As you can imagine, and maybe you still are kind of trying to feel out the new minister, did we make the right choice? It's okay if you're doing that. Because, I spent some time going, did I make the right choice? Even though I love you guys, and I know that I followed Spirit, and I know I made the right choice, sometimes God just gives us an extra little bonus to say, you really did. And so a few weeks in, I was, let me back up a minute and tell you about somebody I know. So I have this very dear friend named Joni, and I just love everything about Joni. She's one of those people that just like looks into your soul when you're talking to her, you know. She's always been a great support for me, and I hope me for her. Great laugh, you know, really serious spiritual student. And so anyway, she's just been a really fun friend and very heart-centered soul friend. And a few years ago, she was diagnosed with cancer, and it looked like it was pretty serious. So we lived in different cities, and I went out to stay with her for a week. And while I was there, she kept talking about this very good friend of hers that lives in California, who's a licensed Unity teacher, and how he and his wife had come to visit her. And I thought, why don't I know? You know how we are with our friends. Why don't I know about this friend, you know? So I was really surprised to hear about this very good friend who had come and spent some time with her while she was ill, and then she moved to Boston into a hospice situation with her family, and this friend from California came out again. And I was like, oh, it's so intriguing. Who is this guy? So I'm sitting with Ron in an early meeting, and he says, you know, you worked at Silent Unity. I'm wondering if you knew Joni. And I went, you couldn't be the Ron. Ron and Kay. Oh my gosh, are you the Ron and Kay? And we just had this amazing moment. Almost at the same time said, I miss Joni so much. And it was like the invisible hand of Spirit had reached across to say, you're in the right place. You're with the right people. It is the right time. Thank God for those moments of grace. Let's close out with an affirmation. Together, I belong to Spirit, my human family, and this beautiful blue planet. I am home. And so it is.
Thank you, Reverend Kristen, for being our bonus. Our prayer chaplains are available after the service to provide personal prayer support. They are wearing the lavender stoles. Whether you have a joy or concern on your heart today, praying with our prayer chaplains is a powerful opportunity to have your intentions raised up in consciousness. So now let us open our hearts to the consciousness of giving as we align with the universal law of circulation. As we give, we shall receive. In truth, there is no lack or limitation. Abundance is our true nature. There are a variety of ways to financially give to this community. For credit card donations, please use the PushPal on your smartphone or take an envelope from the clipboard in the back of your chair. Those of you at home can also use PushPay or click on the donate button on the Watch Live page. So I invite you now to take your tithe or offering in your hand and repeat your affirmation with me together. Divine love, one with me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. I am joyful and grateful. Amen.
As we step out of where we come from, walking tall in who we've become, being seen for all that we are is just one part of our love. I see you and you see me, we welcome each other to our destiny. All that we're here to express and nothing less, we're here to share our brilliance. I am your safe place to land. You are my safe space to land. go through the winds of change and fate. I see you and you see me. We welcome each other to our destiny. All that we're here to express and nothing less. We're here to share our brilliance. I am your safe place to land. You are my safe space to land. We've made a great place to dance. I am your safe place to land. You are my safe space to land. We've made a great place to dance. Safe place to land. I am your safe place to land. So we're grateful for all that we've been through, 'cause it brought us to where we are. And we wouldn't have wanted something else to replace this loving heart. I am you and you are me. We thank you, God, for all that we are here to be. All that we're here to express and nothing less. We dedicate and you bless. I am your safe place to land. You are my safe space to land. We made a great place to dance. I am your safe place to land. You are my safe space to land. We've made a great place to dance. I am your safe place to land. You are my safe space to land. We've made a great place to dance. Safe place to land. I am your safe place to land. Safe place to land. I'll be your safe place to land.
I invite you to land safely back here at 5 o'clock for a picnic and concert with Jamie Lula. Yeah. And let's bless our tithes and our offerings, giving thanks for both the giver and the gift with our affirmation together. We give thanks for the ever-increasing, unceasing flow of absolute good in our lives now. And so it is. Let's welcome our children with a song.
We are marching in the light of God. 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 We are marching, marching, we are marching, marching, we are marching in the light of God. We are marching, marching, we are marching, marching, we are marching in the light of God.
I love the Unity t-shirts, Happy Camper and Shine On. Let's bless our young people and teachers. Youth and teachers, you are loved, special, and important. The light of God shines through you. Invite you to join in our prayer of protection and our peace song by joining hands. Together, the light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. And the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there
are the light, the love, and the peace on earth right now. So let your light shine and have fun.